Hello, nurse coaches. Hello to everyone in the Nurse Coach Tech Support group. I hope you are all having a fantastic Tuesday morning. It's morning here over on the West Coast where Rachel and I are. So I'll just do like a quick little introduction here for those of you who don't know me or are new to the group. I'm Sean Arsenault. I am a fellow board certified nurse coach and the tech guru. I'm the creator of this lovely community, Nurse Coach Tech Support. So in this group and in my private membership, I essentially help nurse coaches who struggle with the technology side of business and learn how to really leverage different platforms like Practice Better, Google Workspace, Canva, email marketing systems, social media, all kinds of stuff to systematize your practice and make it run more efficiently. And I'm here doing a series of live interviews with current members of my private membership, Nurse Coach Tech Mastery. If you don't know anything about the Nurse Coach Tech Mastery membership, in a nutshell, it's basically a place where nurse coaches can build their private practices and they can go and get support specifically in the area of technology, systems, visibility, and organization. And I've got basically a whole library of videos and tutorials on how to use lots of different platforms. We have a private Facebook group, we have a community, and support calls and workshops every month. So it's a fun time. And today I am really excited to feature one of my members in Nurse Coach Tech Mastery, Rachel Dick. She's also a fellow nurse coach, and we'll have lots of time for her to introduce herself and tell us what she's up to. But thank you, Rachel, for being here. And I'm super excited to feature you as a member of Nurse Coach Tech Mastery.
Yeah, super excited to be here. I love the tech mastery, and it's helped me a lot. So I'm like happy to just toot your horn and talk about how amazing it is, and super excited to be here. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, first, tell us a little bit about like yourself, your practice, who you help, like what do you have going on in your world?
Yeah, so I'm a nurse coach. My primary focus is I really like to help people with storytelling. I believe that storytelling is magic. I think that writing is healing, and I have created a program called Heal the Right Way, and I help. Right now, I'm working just with nurses in this program, but
Yeah.
hoping to expand that in the future. But I help nurses figure out how to tell their story, figure out how to write. It's both a coaching space and a writing space. So it's for people that want to, people that have, even people that, some people that have always dreamed of writing, but even people that have not always dreamed of writing, just people that are curious about writing and what it can do for them and how it can expand their lives. So that's a little bit about what I do. I also work one-on-one with clients, and I do some business coaching as well. But the creativity piece is really like the focus of my practice.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And like I think that's one of the reasons why like I feel like I connect with you so much is because I like the whole storytelling thing. It's amazing. I mean, that's what we're all here to do, right? Is like to tell our own stories, to have our own voices be heard. And I love that you give nurses and hopefully, after this, more than just nurses, a space to be able to do that. Um, can you tell me a little bit about like where you were, like where your practice was before you joined Nurse Coach Tech Mastery, and like why? Why did you join?
Yeah, so I think when I joined Nurse Coach Tech Mastery, I was pretty new in my practice. I think I was like in the middle of my first season, and I'm currently launching my fourth season.
Yeah.
Um, and I think like a lot of nurse coaches, the technology was one of the biggest things that was tripping me up.
Yes.
I am a millennial, so I thought, I should be good at tech, but I've
Right.
never, I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I'm not terrible at tech. I'm not amazing at tech. I don't enjoy tech.
Yeah.
Everyone in my family is like in tech. My brothers are all engineers. My husband's a physicist. So like everyone
Wow.
around me
Yeah.
is like very technical minded. My sister's a dentist, and I'm like the free spirit in the family. And I'm always like, I like to paint and draw, and I'm just more of a free spirit. And I sometimes struggle with the technical aspects of building a business.
Yeah.
And so I just felt very, very overwhelmed. I felt like, who do I turn to when I have questions? I felt like it was a lot of like, I was doing a lot of like troubleshooting and not necessarily getting anywhere. And there was just a lot of frustration. And I felt like even before you created this space, you were like the person that I would like message if I was like stuck, like, I can't figure out this thing on Practice Better, like help
Yeah.
me. And it was just it was just very overwhelming. I think also like as nurses, a lot of us are used to just kind of our jobs are often very like set up. Like it's very
Yeah.
like clear what we need to do. And there's a lot of like protocols and you do this and then you do this. And then building a business, it's just, it feels very like overwhelming. Like there's so
Yeah.
many possibilities and so many options. And I have to take the leadership role. I have to decide what to do. And so it was just very overwhelming and frustrating. And yeah, it felt like a lot.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think like I can also relate to the fact of like us being in the nursing world and in the hospital, like we don't have to worry about a lot of that back end stuff. I mean, like whenever we get a new system update or like if we start using a new EMR, like we get trained on it. And, you
Yes.
know, they don't just like throw us to the wolves and expect us to like know what we're doing. Whereas like whenever we're starting and building our own businesses and trying to like implement a lot of these like different programs and all these things, it can feel really overwhelming to have to
Yes.
learn like, okay, what is the best way to most efficiently build the program that I want or build the practice that I want. So thank you for sharing that, because I think like, I mean, even though I love the tech stuff, like it's kind of something that I struggled with a little bit at the beginning, but you know, I had an interest in like learning a lot of the things. So, but I was getting a lot of messages like you and other nurse coaches who were like, I don't know how to do this. How did you do this? Like, um, is there a big win that you've had in your business since becoming a member? Like, what's been your most, like, what's been your proudest accomplishment or something that you've built or created due to being a member?
Ooh, good question. There's so many like roads I could go down, but to me, the biggest thing happened actually at the beginning, like when I first opened the Tech Mastery course, and I think your
Mhm.
very first module is about organizing your Google Drive.
Yeah.
And that was mind blowing for me. Like yeah, like it was huge. And that was something I really struggled with, was like the organization piece. And again, like I like things organized. I'm a pretty organized person, but I think none of us are ever like trained how to, I don't know what to call it, like digital hygiene or something, like how to
Yeah.
like organize our files, like how to like keep our photos, like all these types of things. They're so basic. I almost feel like they should like teach it in middle school or something, but like I
Yes.
was missing like these basic things about like how to organize my Google Drive. Like when I create a new document, like, where do I put it? Like that was so overwhelming for me. And it seems so minor, but since getting my Google Drive organized, I have so much easier access to my business. Like I know where to find things.
Yes.
That made like a world of difference. So that's like the first thing that comes to mind. Another thing that comes to mind is like, and it's kind of ironic because the nurse coach, the Tech Mastery, like you help me so much. Like I'm that person that's on every Q&A call, but
Yes.
it also has taught me how to tap into my own resources. Like it is also like
Love
watching you
it.
troubleshoot on a call teaches me, oh, I can troubleshoot things. Like I can figure things out. I can Google how to do things. And so even though it's not a crutch, like your
Right.
program is not a crutch, like it gives me, it's like packed with like tons and tons of info, but it
Yeah.
also empowered me to do things myself and to like, oh, I can figure things out myself. Like the way I used to on night shift and we didn't have the supplies we needed, like
So
I
true.
can
Yeah.
figure it out. So it's just like very, very empowering, I think, to just have this kind of support.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy, because like one of the things that like inspired me to create the membership was like people were asking me for a lot of information, like how do you do this, how do you do this? And so I was like, okay, I'm going to compile a bunch of information and put this out there so that people have the answers. But I noticed like information isn't always the thing, right? It's not always like I don't know how to do it. It's like the self-talk of like I can't do it, I don't know, I'm not good enough to be able to do it. And so like that's why I've, you know, recently I've been implementing some changes into the membership where we have more of those calls, right? More of those calls, like the Q&A calls. Now we're doing like the workshops with different themes. And that's basically because you guys have a lot of information already. Like I've put so much information in there. Like I know some of you probably haven't even um, you know, watched all of the modules, and that's great. Like I don't want you to go in there and like binge watch everything, because you're not going to use it all at the same time. Like I want you to go in there and use what you need. But it's integration that I think was missing at the very beginning. So that's why I added more and more of those calls. So I'm really glad that you've like found those calls super, super valuable. Speaking of which, like, is there a particular, like, I know you said you really enjoyed the organization module, but any other part of the membership that really stands out to you that has been super valuable for your practice?
Yeah, the social media stuff was super helpful. I think social media is my biggest challenge starting a business, is learning how to put myself out there, and then also just like the technical aspects of social media.
Yeah. And it's
Um,
always changing. Social media is always changing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, so that was like super helpful. The social media module. Remind me, what are some of the other modules? I'm like, there's the practice better one. They're all amazing. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like they're all they're all super helpful. Like it's just packed. And I love that it's like everything's very bite sized. So like
Mhm.
everything's very short and to the point, and it's just amazing. I even just taking your course and seeing like how well organized it was and how you structured things, it made
Mhm.
me feel like, oh, like I could create a course and I could like structure, like it helped me a lot with self-belief. And it just,
Good.
yeah, it just, I don't know. I love the program, and I think it's like super, super well organized, and it's like packed with content. I have not gone through all the modules. I've gone through most of them, and I've gone through the
Yeah.
ones that were relevant to me for sure. But like, it's just, there's just so much in there. It's gold.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And is there anything that you are like most excited about moving forward as a member, or like something that you haven't been able to dive into yet, or maybe something you want to see in the future?
Yeah, good question. I cannot make a reel to save my life, so I need a lot of help with that. I've made one reel in my life,
Yeah.
and I think it took me like 3 hours, and I was like crying by the time I
Oh
was done.
no. Oh, well, I have a
Yeah.
whole Instagram Reels boot camp in the membership for you.
Yeah,
So
I don't think I've gone through it yet. I think I'm still still processing the PTSD from that one reel that I
oh
made. Not.
no, that'll be our next workshop though. Our
I hope so.
Instagram Reels
Yeah.
for August. We're gonna do an Instagram Reels workshop. So
Okay.
if
Awesome.
you're listening and you want to join in on the Instagram Reels workshop, join the membership. I'll put the link below. But anyways,
Yeah, I'm
um,
really excited for that. So social media is like, social media is the big one. I feel like that's
yeah,
really big. I feel like practice better. I finally feel like I have a good handle on, now that I've asked you all my questions, and now I can make a program, and now I can make a package, and now I know the difference. And so
yeah,
that was like one of the big things at the beginning. I feel like that I really got out of the course. But yeah,
awesome,
there's I'll take any content you put out, Shawnee. Like it's
right, nice, nice,
yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for just kind of like sharing your experience. Like, I know this is an area of blockage for a lot of nurse coaches, like getting into the tech stuff and having it be so overwhelming. And like, I know people have asked me about my membership, and it's hard to explain because it's not like a course that you take in chronological order, right? Like, it's just a library of resources and then live support calls that you can come to. And it's just really hard to explain, like, that this is the kind of support that like I kind of wish I had at the very beginning. Like, yeah, I was able to figure out pretty quickly, but like I would have loved to have like a space like this where I wasn't the only one like struggling. And I know, like, other nurse coaches in the membership have probably felt the same way of like, okay, now we have like a group of people that we can kind of, be in community with and in our struggles with technology. Um, so what do you have going on in your practice? Like, is there like, I know you have your next season of Heal the Right Way launching. Tell us a little bit about that, how people can get in touch with you if they want to join in.
Yeah, so I'm super, super excited. I'm launching the fourth season of this workshop in 2 weeks. So this is a very unique workshop. I don't think there's anything out there like it. It's a combination of coaching and writing.
Yeah.
And so this is a space where nurses come together. We learn how to establish a daily writing practice. We learn how to use writing as a way to heal. We learn how to coach ourselves in our writing. We learn how to dump our thoughts, and people who go through this workshop experience like what I like to call like a creative recovery. So,
Nice.
you know, I think there's two examples, two very similar stories of someone in my workshop who basically like had not written poetry since college. And so we're talking like 30, 40 years, like decades, like, oh
Wow.
yeah, I'm one of those people that used to write poetry. And there's so many people like that in the nursing community. Oh yeah, I majored in dance in college, or I
Yeah.
wanted to be an interior designer and I put that aside because like I had to do something practical. And so
Yeah.
this woman in my workshop, she is writing poetry again. She dug up her poetry from 30 years ago from college, and she's
Wow.
revising it, and she's looking to publish it. And so the purpose of this workshop is not necessarily to publish. A lot of the
Yeah.
people who are in the workshop want to publish and have published and will publish. And we're talking articles, podcasts, blogs, and even just being more dynamic on social media, all of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
but the purpose of the workshop is really just to establish a writing habit and to get in touch with your creative side and live a more creative life, because that's really why we're here. Like, it's about having fun. And so we talk a lot in the workshop about like going on dates with yourself, having fun, like doing doing something that you haven't done in a while, like maybe picking up some paintbrushes or playing with your kids or going to a trampoline park, like whatever it is, like just having more fun. And so people who go through the workshop, like I've gotten so much positive feedback, and it's just a really, really, really fun space. So if anybody is thinking about it, if anybody has been eyeing it, now's your time, because my prices are going up. And I only have a couple of spots left for this season, and I would love to have you in it. So just reach out to me if you're curious, if you want to hear more. I also have a Facebook group, a free Facebook group called Nurses Who Write. And in there's a lot of just resources around writing and self-expression and creativity and all that kind of stuff. And it's a super fun, warm, welcoming environment. So yeah, reach out to me if you're curious. So
Awesome. Yeah. The link to, I think, your most recent post about Heal the Right Way is going to be in the description of this live. I love hearing you talk about just like creative expression. I honestly think that's one of the reasons why I created the membership too, is because like tech can be a roadblock, but once you start to like really learn and like empower yourself to know that you can navigate it, it can also be a way to expressively, creatively express yourself. And
totally.
And I feel like that's exactly what you've done with your practice. I mean, I remember kind of like helping you build your modules inside of Heal the Right Way, inside of Practice Better. And I mean, it's turned into such an amazing offering. So all the info for Rachel's program will be in the link. If hearing about what Rachel has created in her practice excites you, and you would love to, create something in your own practice, but don't know where to start with setting up like the tech and the systems to successfully build it, I would love to invite all of you to join Nurse Coach Tech Mastery. The doors are open and will remain open. I used to only open the doors for like certain periods of time and then close them, but you can now join at any time. So I'll drop the link in the comments for all of you to check that out too, and to learn more info. We would love to have you. Thank you so much, Rachel, for spending some time with me today.
Thank you so much, Shani. And thanks for all your support with everything. You're the bomb.
You're so welcome. Okay. Hope everyone has an amazing Tuesday, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.